Well, it's been a while, but I'm Danny Stevens alongside Dylan Beckwith, but we are finally back in the booth here for round 2 of Season 3 in Breakout Racing League. We find ourselves at Bahrain this weekend for the Bahrain Grand Prix, of course, and looks like we're going to have a pretty good race, because apparently what I've missed last weekend was a pretty nuts race. I haven't been able to see it yet, but a lot of great action with Alderford Jr. winning the first race in the Williams, so not many times you hear win for the Williams, but still, anything can happen here in Breakout Racing League, especially because there's equal cars. But anyways, we're going to have a good race here tonight. The Bahrain track is really known to just murder tires, so very good chance we're going to see some two-stoppers today. If you start on a soft compound tire, it is possible to stretch it on a one-stop to the hards, but it's very difficult, and it's definitely expected to see a lot of shake-up when it comes to strategy. So we're in for a good one tonight, everybody. Once again, it's alongside me, Dylan Beckwith. I'm Danny Stevens, and this is the Breakout Racing League Season 3, Race 2.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really interesting to see how qualifying shakes things up during the race. Obviously, we have some big names in here that we've seen in some other races. Obviously, Deer Hunter is one that comes to mind. Boss Cookie, you know, there's a lot of rivalries going on.
Yes, as we see, GC Sparky is the first one out, as it appears, in his Williams. And this is the first time, really, we get to showcase the F1 2019 graphics here under the lights in Bahrain, and that looks beautiful. As you can see right there, the Rocket Williams powers its rocket engine down the straightaway. So as we review right here real quick, currently Williams is the constructor leader at 25 points. It's Alder for 1, but surprisingly his teammate was not able to score points. So that single victory is currently carrying their constructor's charge at the moment, but they'll obviously want to try and add to that with both cars scoring the points rather than just one, because that can only get you so far, as Ferrari has learned with Vettel the last couple seasons. So as of now, it is currently Rocket Williams versus Mercedes in the point standings. 25, 18, 15 at third place is Red Bull Toro Rosso. Fourth place with 12, Aston Martin Red Bull Racing. 10 even is between the Rich Energy Haas's as well as the Alfa Romeos. 6 points for Scuderia Ferrari, 4 for McLaren, and 1 for Racing Point is 0 for Renault at the moment. So not a great race for Maverick and B-Dunk last weekend, but they'll try to score some points to get their name on the board right now as we ride on board EGZ Sparky on his first lap. See right there, he's got a decent corner going right there. This should be a good lap as it's early on. He's got a clear track ahead of him. I believe he was the first one out of the pits, so we'll catch up in a minute to see where that lap time puts him, but we'll look around through the field right now as Boss Cookie, it appears now, is on a lap. And that very blank Ferrari, we really hope Codemasters can, you know, use their coding master skills to put the 90 years logos on that car to make it not look terrible. See a lot of guys still in the pits at the moment, maybe waiting for the track to get rubbered up. Maverick is also out there on the hard compound tire. That's interesting. So I'd assume he's going to try and start on the mediums. Chandler Sieta crosses the line with the first official lap time of the session on 127.7. We'll see how that stacks up in a second as Sparky goes slower to 128.0. Oh, we got yellow flags in Sector 3. That could easily just be someone trying to get out of the way, but we see Chandler Sieta still at the top as Maverick sets his lap at a 130.0, but remember he was on the hard, so you can't expect them to set the greatest time on there with the least amount of rubber grip, so as I said, it's going to be tough to do a one-stopper from the soft, so Maverick is probably thinking to put on the hards early so that he has a set of mediums later to use for qualifying, and he'd then be able to start the race on those mediums if that was his fastest time. So definitely some strategy already playing here early in qualifying as with more times come across the board. Switchback racer up to third place in 128.6, and Ard to the top at the moment. On his soft compound tires, he's able to do a 127.3, and we all know that Art is a good qualifier and a very good racer as well, so for his competition, not great to see him at the top of the board right now, but we'll see what happens as the session continues because we're still only a few minutes in. It appears that everyone has either bailed out of their lap or finished their lap, because there's a lot of drivers in the pits right now, including Ed Taranja and ERS Cam Newton, two really fast drivers that we all know of. As it appears Ledoux, or mind my pronunciation, either Ledoux or Ledoux, is about starting his lap in that Alfa Romeo. Yeah, but it's really in the qualifying session where we get to have fun a little bit and make predictions for the race we're about to see in about 12 minutes and 30 seconds. So, Dylan, who do you think is either going to go on pole or maybe even win this race tonight?
All right, so as you said, you know, Art obviously just a great qualifier and racer nonetheless. But so I think we're going to see the likes of I'm going to say RBR. I think last time we did commentary, he was a little bit of a late bloomer, you should say, into this into the qualifying, and he kind of swept out of nowhere. I think we're also gonna definitely see Boss Cookie up there. Yeah, obviously, I mean, just a bunch of really great drivers in this series that we already know of. You know, obviously, I think people have their certain skill sets. Some are better. Oh,
well, I hate to interrupt you, but Ledoux goes for a spin there going up the hill, and he's in the wall. Appears he didn't lose his tires. He's going to be able to have a chance to pull a new set of tires on and repair that wing if he damaged it and go out again, but that was a very scary moment for him.
Yeah, it's a very weird spin,
flips the inside curb and loses the back end.
Yeah, very odd angle for that one. Yeah, anyway, I think we're going to see a lot of obviously, you know, like Boss Cookie, switchback racer, Art, obviously great qualifier, Deer Hunter, RBR, ERS Sam Newton, that's who I forgot. Yeah, obviously all of them just great drivers and qualifiers. So I'm not really sure. I think you might know the answer to this, but how are we going to see? How do you think we're going to see qualifying really affect the race here? Do you really think it's going to play out how people expected it, or do you think it's really going to matter in the actual race, like coming down to strategy? What do you think is more important, qualifying today, or just kind of all overall race pace?
Yeah, definitely. That is a good question for these teams when it comes to the strategy side of things, because as I have said, the softs you can one-stop from, but those tires are going to be just melted after the first couple laps. The Bahrain desert heat really takes a toll on the tires here, and as we saw in the real-life Grand Prix, it was a two-stop. And most drivers switch to two sets of mediums after their first soft, so it's not as particularly gruesome, the wear in the game, as it is in real life, but still, it is very high chance we'll see a two-stopper here tonight. It was about a 10-second window, as I saw in the game, between a two-stop and a one-stop, but those windows don't exactly paint a good picture when it comes to the tire wear exactly as each driver's setup or driving style allows, so you never know. That is a good question, though. Do you sacrifice that track position for a harder compound of tire, or do you sacrifice your optimal strategy for that track position that you would give up with a two-stop? So
yeah,
we'll see what happens here.
Yeah, I also think it comes down to really if this is a suited track just for the driver personally, because you know some people can think this is a really hard track to overtake at, and some people can point out 3 or 4 overtaking zones that are super easy for them, and so they can qualify up front, you know, run in front a little bit, but also there's some drivers that can just qualify in the back and then just make their way up to the field just by sheer race pace. So we'll see how it all pans out.
As we can see, Boss Cookie crosses the line at a 128.7, and important to note that was on the medium compound tires, so looks like he's going rather early for that lap, seeing as you only have one. Oh, whoa, what was that? He's now in the gravel on his cooldown lap. That was interesting. It almost impeded ERS Cam Newton right there. Oh no, he's not on a lap, so that wouldn't have really mattered. But still, that was a little frightening for Boss Cookie right there. After he finished his lap, it looked like he almost threw it on the wall. The display for everyone to see the tire compound that everyone has used. There we go. Yep, so there you can now see the top 3 have gone for the soft tires, and the 3 after them have all put on the mediums, and it's important to note that is early in the session, and as I was in the process of saying, you only get 1 set of those medium compound tires in qualifying, so anytime you see someone strap those on and do a lap early, normally indicates that they're going to go on softs later in the session. So
Yeah, so what we just, like you were talking about, we saw with Boss Cookie, he set his lap on the mediums. Now I can see that Switchback Racer set his best time on the mediums, but is now on the softs. Same thing with Ferrari Nut, and we're also going to see some of those other drivers on the hard compound going on to the mediums. So BRL Maverick and Alderfer Jr.
Well, as you said earlier, the sleeper in qualifying is normally RBR, and looks like he's coming out right now as the engineers are pulling the. Oop, yep, here he comes. The tire blankets are off the car. Now he is in the garage, leaving the garage. Excuse me. He's now on the pit lane and about to come out for his out lap. Definitely a threat. As we know lately, he's really started to get involved in his YouTube channel, so he's trying to show the world his talents for sure, and he displays them in this series absolutely as well as he did. As we were indicating, it was the Mexican Grand Prix last season that he was able to sneak a pole in the last couple minutes and then ultimately win that race.
Yeah, I remember that being a great race.
Except for the lack of action in the middle. Oh, whoa, as Adam Max almost loses it on his outlap right there. That could have been ugly for him, because he hasn't even set a lap yet, so if he were to wreck out right there, that would not have been ideal for his strategy whatsoever.
That's also got to affect his tires for this flying lap, because, you know, going on the gravel isn't something ideal before your first flying lap.
So looks like Alderfer Jr. is out on the track right now. His first lap he set on the hard compound tires. That was a 129.347. He currently has the yellow. Oh, there's a racing point right there, smashing a board across right there. Alderfer is now out on the medium compound tire, almost at the soft. And now he's coming to the pits. So maybe that was just a bit of a bluff lap right there to make people go out. And there's still minutes left, so I don't know what he's going to do. He might put these back on, because that was only an out lap, so he might put these back on later and go for the lap on the soft, the mediums, or he could easily go out on the softs as well. So
here comes RBR on his flying lap.
Oh, yeah, we'll definitely look at that right now. Yep, so right on board RBR right now. Very easy on the power of that second corner. It's very easy to lose the back end in this game, especially on a middle compound tire as he is on the medium. Really early apex here for turn 4, I believe it is. As he now comes down to the crossover between sector 1 and sector 2. This is the apex a slight bit right there, but it looks like a solid lap. As they say, the slower it looks, the faster it probably is. So he's being very easy on these tires because they don't have the grip in them that the softs do. But at the same time, quick enough to set a lap time that's going to promote him up the charts. So there he is, deploying the DRS for the first time on this lap. Technically the second time on this lap, as he now brakes hard for the left-hander. See if he hits the right side curve right there. He taps it a little bit. That could usually spot as Latouf saw earlier, but he's able to survive as he now powers down the next to last straightaway right here. Alright, past the 100-meter marker, he brought on the brakes right there. Very late braking from RBR. He's really going for it on this lap on the mediums. Let's see where it can get him. He goes up to third. That was a very good effort, a 128.0 on the medium compound tires. So for a compound harder to only be what? Actually, hold on a minute. Compared to E.G. Sparky, who was on the soft, that was a good performance by RBR right there, but he is a solid 1.2 seconds off of Ard. And the delta time between the mediums and the softs is definitely less than 1.2 seconds. So maybe it just wasn't the best lap for RBR, but either way, it's most likely not his last lap, as there's 4 minutes left in the session. So we'll keep an eye on him for later.
Yeah, definitely going to be just kind of like I'd say more of a test lap for him. I think he's definitely going to try and take the pole position here once he goes for this next lap.
Yeah, absolutely. And we now see Boss Cookie has put on the soft compound tires. This is the very end of his lap right here as he deploys the DRS. Across the line, he goes up to third. It's a 127.6 for Boss Cookie. Only 2/10 off the car in front of him, but once again, that's a pretty solid gap to the car ahead of Ard. So we'll see if Ard can hold that early lap all the way to the end here, or maybe he has to go back out and defend that position with a second effort, but as of now, it looks like no one can touch it.
Yeah, I think Ard actually might have gotten the advantage of a not very hot track at the beginning. Maybe that kind of suited his car or his driving style. But yeah, it definitely looks like he's sitting pretty here. As I think Boss Cookie's trying to cut some corners, trying to get this lap here.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, we now see Ham Newton. He has the medium tires on right now. His first lap was on the hards, so this is what he's going to try and do. He's going to try one stop from the mediums to the hards in the race. Boss Cookie's getting all over him on his lap. Looks like this is actually just an out lap for ERS Ham Newton. Yeah, so he's getting ready to cross the line and start that lap in his newly de-logoed Rich Energy Haas after the update. As we see everyone starting to go out for their final laps right now. This is common. We see this in the last 2 minutes and about 30 seconds left in the session. We see everyone leave the pits for that final lap. So I believe that is Ard back there. No, Ard is still in the pits. So it looks like Ard thinks that what he's got is enough to win the pole. It appears he's not going to come back out. So that'll be interesting. It was a really early lap. Everyone else is going. There's more rubber on the circuit, so theoretically more grip. We'll see if he's able to hold that as Alderfer Jr. now starts his lap. That looked rather slow. Hold on. Boss Cookie retired from the session, so he's done now after his 127.6. He did not have time to get back to the pits and start a new lap. Looks like Alderfer isn't going for it right here, so he might have bailed out of that first lap and he's waiting to start a new one. That was really wide for Ham Newton. Says this theoretically should be his lap, but it looks like they're actually doing 2 warm-up laps, it appears. Very interesting. I have not seen that so far in this game, because this is a very slow pace for him. He was already out on the track last lap, so...
Yeah, I think he's saving his ERS here. Obviously, he's at 100% right now, so he's really going for this next lap.
Yes, absolutely. The CBRL Skeppy is out here right now. He had also a disappointing weekend last week, I believe with an 11th place finish, so he wasn't able to score any points. He's going to try and improve on that tonight and get his name on the Drivers' Championship table. There's still 2 drivers in the pit lane, Ed Taranja and Revs EXE. And they haven't said a lot. Neither has Deer Hunter or B-Dunk. And they're also in the pits. So it looks like we have a few drivers doing the last to first challenge here tonight. And there may have been penalties from last weekend that we haven't been filled in about. Excuse me if that is the case, but these guys are not qualifying, it appears. They might not even be, I mean, the amount of wear that it takes in one qualifying lap around this track, they may just assume that it's more worth not qualifying at all and starting with 100% fresh rubber across the line. So, yeah, that was, excuse me for that bit of weird English right there. It looked like Red Bull's coming across the line as I was talking about the tires, so it's like 100% fresh rubber for the start of the race is what they're going for. But anyways, back to the push for pole. We see RBR, he's going right now, so is everyone else as the session is ticked down to 0. They have 2 minutes 35 remaining to set the lap. That should definitely be enough. ETC Sparky pushing around the corner that Leduc's lost. It looks like Leduc's might have been off to the left over there again. There's an Alpha off the track, and there he is once again off the track. Not a good qualifying session for either of the Alphas. Actually, never mind. Good session for Ferrari Nut as he's currently in 6th, but Leduc's is not having a good session for his team. Anyway, ETC Sparky is about to cross the line, and he only improved to 6th. So not the best performance from him, as RBR is on the medium still, and he was on the soft, so wasn't able to beat him. Yep, RBR, as you just said, is about to come to the penultimate straightaway. So let's see where, I was about to say, ERS Ham Newton, he did just cross the line in 4th place on those mediums. That's a great lap for him. RBR is on the softs as I expected. So here he comes out of the final corner. Let's see what this is going to promote him to. This could be pole. Art at a 126.8. Can it hold? And RBR is coming into the pits. So that's a bluff from RBR there.
I think it either might have been
his rivals think he was going to start on the soft. Yeah, excuse me, what were you going to say?
I think it might have been a validation. I think I saw him get a little wide, possibly.
Yeah, that could definitely be true. That's a hard break for RBR if that's the case, because it looked like it was a pretty fast lap. It looks like the session might be over here. Not many drivers out on track. on a lap anyways. Most of them have completed their lap. Our Maverick very slow out of the final corner, so looks like he's over this session in 10th place. Oh, and it looks like Skeppy has lost his front wing. Skeppy somehow lost his front wing there in the last minute of qualifying. And he's going to start right where he finished last week in 11th place, so I'll maybe haunt him a little bit at the start of the race, the 0 points he got last session. I just got 500 XP for commentating this session. So thank you, Codemasters. And yeah, so there you have it. Art on that single lap that he set very early in the session.
Oh wait,
Actually,
so
no,
we
there
can
was a
see
second
whether...
lap that he did, but it was early in the session. That 126.8 was able to hold off and grab him the pole, so that's a great effort from him, and it's a giant gap to second place and back. So this is going to be an interesting start. We only have three we have three drivers in the front. The first three are starting on the softs. A very difficult qualifying session set up. I wouldn't imagine so. I'd imagine that we're just jumping right into the grid in the race. So we'll see what happens when this.
Yep,
loads
it does
in,
say that. It says race.
Yes, yes, it does. See, I tend to ignore the menu because why not? Yes. Man, we apologize once again for this issue. We've gone from 12 viewers to 4 ever since the crash happened. So, not ideal. We know. We apologize. It's like a waiter bringing out crappy food. The broadcaster's bringing out a crappy show right now because it ended. So, don't worry. We'll get this back underway in a minute. Yep, as we see the buffering sign of doom is on every single driver right there. Hope that does not mean we have connection issues again. People might still be joining, but either way, I expect to be able to see the cars for the formation lap. They may not even do another formation lap here. I would hope that they do, because it gives us another minute to regather what has happened and see what is happening. But
All right, so now that we had that first little teaser, you could call it. Why don't let's make our predictions for the actual race, which was completely planned, by the way. So yeah.
I mean, yeah, because they might edit it. They might edit that whole first bit out on us when they make the final cut and add it to the YouTube channel, which, by the way, subscribe to BRL Esports on YouTube as well as the Twitch account. Shout out right there. But so, yeah, I'll reiterate again, I expect Ham Newton to do very well, as now the timer's starting to count down. I predict Ham Newton. And who are you going after again?
Honestly, I think Ard is just gonna walk away with the win if nothing happens. But that is not to say that there's going to be some drivers that are definitely going to be up there challenging for the lead. Obviously, strategy is going to play hugely into this. Obviously, now that people have fresh tires instead of ones that use from qualifying, especially the softs. But yeah, definitely Ard is definitely on the watch out for. Like you said, ERS.
Alright, well, hold on real quick. We'll just see if the lights are going up. Oh, yeah, they are doing another formation lap. Yeah, so you can continue.
Yeah, so like I was saying, just Ard, obviously, qualified on pole by a pretty significant margin, actually, at the end. And then that little teaser trailer we had, he was obviously ahead by about 4 seconds, so really just had a good race pace as well as a qualifying pace.
Yep, so as expected, I just checked a few of the drivers. The tire compounds are the same as they were in qualifying, so that's what they had been instructed. Just select the tire that you started on. It'll be funny to see if they were instructed to do an exact recreation of what happened a few laps ago, so that would be funny. But I wouldn't expect that. This is probably just a refresh, restart from the beginning. Boss Cookie's going to be thanking his lucky stars for that. That's another big winner, aside from Alderford Jr. He's one that was definitely hoping for a redo after he was spun in one of the opening corners there, just like Perez was in the Grand Prix last year, so we'll see what happens here off the start for him and see if he can not do that again.
Yeah, obviously, I think RBR is also one to look out for if he doesn't mess up the start this time. Or, sorry, for the first time ever.
There was contact maybe as it's like a, switchback racer went off. Hold on, was he in the Mercedes? Yeah, I believe he was in the Mercedes last session. I believe, I'm sorry, Still remembering that he's in Split 1 this season, as he was in Split 2 last season. It'll be interesting to see his pace. There's a newcomer in this league. See how he can do under the lights here tonight in Bahrain. But either way, as you mentioned earlier, something I'd like to once again note again is Ard's pace was phenomenal there in the first few laps of that first attempt. So we'll see if anyone can really challenge it this time around. But yeah, he was something to mess around with last time. As Chandler and Boss Cookie are going to try and keep it with him this time on those soft compound tires, as they have the tire that he has as well. So
yeah, there's also brand new tires, so we also have to keep that in mind. So the softs are going to have the advantage.
Absolutely, absolutely. Either way, here we are on the grid once again for the redo. And I'm going to sound like a broken record player, but here we are once again. 5 red lights are starting to come on ahead of the drivers. We have 5 lights right now, and they are out. And it is now time to bring the action again here in Bahrain, as it's another good start for Ard, as he's able to protect his lead once again as he was before. More even behind between the second and third place drivers, as Ham Newton takes a peek there. He makes a peek there, and yes, I believe there was contact between he and the Ferrari ahead. As now there's a good battle between Boss Cookie and the Racing Point, as there's another car off the track back there. That's RBR. He's out of the race. RBR is out of the race. Whoa, what a nightmare for RBR. I'm so easy to miss what happened to him, because we have a great battle right now for second between Boss Cookie and Chandler Sieta, as they were side by side for the first several corners, forcing each other both off the track. As RBR has now left the session, solidifying he won't be scoring any points tonight. So that's a nightmare start for him. As we now see Ham Newton is already starting to challenge the cars ahead on his harder rubber. Definitely looking different from last time, but a little similar in that some drivers are having issues early on.
Yeah, so now another win, or possible win, loss, and another contender now out of this race. So that's really going to ease the pressure on Ard.
Now Trace Me has left the session. Trace Me has just left the session. So that's 2 drivers, but his car's still moving. So that was either a disconnection once again, or he just left, which I find hard to believe. So we might be seeing issues again on the connections. We might see that the McLaren is off of BRL Skeppy. Skeppy's off the track again. Not another bad race for him. So this is not good. Not good for his night whatsoever.
Yeah, obviously I think we are still having connection issues.
Yeah, I do think there still might be issues with the connection.
Oh, someone's in the pits.
Anyways, UGG Sparky is in the pits, as you just mentioned, as well as Skeppy. So yeah, not a good start for these 2 guys as well. So nearly Ard is leading by 1.4 seconds.
Switchback racer and Chandler. Good battle here.
Yeah, absolutely. As you could see, Switchback was making a move right there, and he started in 9th place. This is a great start for Switchback race. He's been able to
see if he can live up to his name.
Yeah, and he might be able to move up to 4th place as well here. Chandler Sieta, even though he is on the harder tire than what Chandler is on, he is able to turn on the heat and apply pressure at the moment. So much different looking front few drivers than we had from last time. Ard is still your leader, but Boss Cookie is now in second on the same compound of tire. Ham Newton 3rd rather than 2nd. Switchback Racer is much further up the grid than he was last time, as he's now weaving a bit right there to try and break the slipstream for Ferrari not behind. Yeah, but definitely different from last time. RBR isn't involved up here as he was. Skeppy's moved down. Like this is going to be interesting to see how it plays out.
Yeah, obviously I think the soft tires definitely are showing some more pace than they did last time. I think Boss Cookie is right now able to hang in with Ard. I'm not saying that's because of the tires, but it's obviously different from the last round we had, as he's just at the fastest lap. So maybe he's actually gaining on Ard a little bit here, and we'll see how that goes on through this race.
So there's Ard leading the field right there, coming out of turn number 3. As we see more drivers starting to finagle their way through the awkward first few corners here at Bahrain. And it looks like things have settled down a little bit right here. This is the first lap at DRS, but no one really appears to be in position to make a move. As we see, actually, BRL Maverick was getting a little close to Mean Fern right there at the end of that straightaway. He's up in a 9th in the points, so solid for him so far, but he's going to try and improve that, as I said, trying to get around Mean Fern and improve that position 8th. As for our hard tire runners, they're not doing the best right now. That was Ledoux, who started on the hard and EGC Sparky as well as BRL Skeppy pitted onto that hard. So they, for what we know, they may try to actually go to the end after their first lap woes onto the hard. So that'll be interesting to follow. But anyways, we now see a big gaggle of cars right here behind Switchback Racer forming. This might be a good run down the front straightaway here with the DRS flowing, as the drivers behind of Ferrari Nut and Alderfer Jr. maybe try to pass him and get ahead. So they definitely have the pace advantage with those soft compound tires at the moment. This is still early, those tires are still faster than the mediums, so this will be interesting to follow right here. This is appearing to be a good battle down this DRS straight.
Yeah, Ard's gap is just extending more and more as we go throughout this race, and I think that's going to continue throughout this race. Obviously, he proved that in qualifying, but we also see ARS Ham Newton trying to gain on Boss Cookie, but he's also Chandler's within DRS range of the ARS Ham Newton, so he's got to watch out for that, and I think he's obviously going to be challenging for a podium here.
Hold on, we ride on board with Ferrari Nut here. He was able to get very close into turn 1, but not close enough to make a move. Down the second DRS straight, very similar situation. He was able to get very close to Switchback Racer, but just wasn't able to get close enough to put his nose in there and make an overtake. So he's going to try and hold it tight for these fast corners. The Switchback gets a little wide there on the left-hander. Looks like Ferrari Nut is going to have a good chance to get a good exit out of the double left-hander and get the DRS open and make that overtake down to the fast left-hander. As actually, whoa, Alderfer Jr. almost made contact there with Ferrari Nut as he locked up the front tires into the double left-hander. As I've said, a very difficult corner to break into as it's downhill and to the left. He locked them up and almost slammed right into the rear of the Alpha Ferrari Nut right there, so he lucked out with that one.
Yeah, he did luck out because me and Fern was right behind him, but actually me and Fern went off, so that was kind of some luck there too, and as BRL Maverick got that position into 8th.
Yeah, absolutely, yes. So Maverick was able to make that overtake as we were looking at a minute ago. He was able to go from 9th to 8th. Good stuff from him right there. So he's going to try and improve his position even further. He's got a solid gap to make up right now before the next driver. Either way, things are spreading out at the front right now. The closest gap of the first 5 drivers is 4th to 3rd, and that's ERS Ham Newton, followed by Chandler Siet. Oh, as Ferrari Nut is able to make the move on Switchback Racer. I'm sorry, we missed that right there. He was able to make the pass into turn number 1, so he was able to open that DRS and make a very textbook overtake. But here comes Switchback with the, he might be able to switch back his position right here with the DRS on the next straightaway. So that's one of the exciting factors right here of that second straightaway added right there with the ERS. That's able to really give the driver who's just passed the opportunity to get that position back, as we saw between Vettel and Leclerc in real life, as well as with Hamilton and Vettel in real life in this Grand Prix. So it's a very fun DRS straight, and thank God they added that, because that adds more excitement to this race tonight.
Yeah, speaking of ERS, I think if we look at Chandler, he definitely has more ERS deployment than who he's really running against. So he's just trying to stay within DRS of ERS Ham Newton, trying to conserve his ERS for when he really needs it. He's sitting at 70% right now, whereas ERS, not living up to his name, is at 32, along with most of the front runners there.
Yeah, well, Chandler might be was a yellow flag. Oh, as Alderfer went around again. Alderfer's around. So that's another spin for him. He had 2 spins, I believe, in the first attempt, and now it's his first spin in the second attempt. So this is just not a good night for him. It's like the racing gods are just against him tonight, as he's now down to 10th place after being right up there in the fight with Ferrari Nut and Switchback Racers. So he's going to have to work on trying to get back up to the field tonight, as now Ledukes is behind him on the hard tires, which should be better equipped after 6 laps of wear. So he might be under fire in a minute from the Alpha right there, but not a good start whatsoever for Alderfer.
Yeah, if we look at
see, actually, there's more action. I'm sorry to interrupt you right there. There was more action between me and Fern and BRL Maverick, because me and Fern was trying to make another move back on the position that Maverick had just taken from him. So we'll watch this as the laps unfold. But anyways.
Yeah, so it's just interesting to point out that Trace Me is actually still in the session.
Yeah, I know he is. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with that.
Yeah, he may have been able to rejoin and take control of his AI car, because he wasn't wrecked out or retired. He just left the session, so his car was still moving as a ghost car.
Yeah, his car is still ghosted, but he is still driving. So
wait, hold on, I don't mean to interrupt, but once again, there's a battle between the Renault and the Red Bull right here, between Maverick and Mean Fern. this is interesting to look at, is Mean Fern, this is now twice he's been able to open that DRS and make a look on Maverick, but just hasn't been able to get the nose in there and make a pass. So we'll watch again down the front straightaway, the longest straightaway of DRS at this track. The CV does have that additional little bit of slipstream to be able to get him alongside and past the Renault ahead. So here they go through the final corner. See if it's a good exit as we ride on board Mean Fern here. It appears that Maverick got a very solid exit, but the DRS is now open for Mean Fern. As Leduc says, I predicted he's able to get around the Elderfer, as you can see there on the left side, but Mean Fern does not have the distance whatsoever on Maverick to make anything of a move.
Yeah, Elderfer now in the pits. Yeah, so he must be pitting for new tires, or maybe he has some front wing damage, but yeah, we'll see how this plays out.
Yeah, but these are exciting times now in the opening laps, as it appears that the softs are starting to wear off, as we now see Switchback Racer applying the pressure to Ferrari Nut, who just passed him a couple laps ago on those soft compound tires. So yeah, it looks like things are starting to swing around in the advantage of the medium and hard compound users, as we now see ERS Ham Newton is closing on a Boss Cookie ahead, as the gap is only now at the 1.2 seconds. So expect to see ERS Ham Newton in his Haas opening the DRS very shortly, as he's only 2/10 away from getting that privilege.
Yeah, so Art has just extended his lead here, far out in front, but obviously we're going to see these soft compound tires start to wear, as we saw with Alderfer, as he was the first one to pit for medium, so that might say something to the rest of the drivers.
Yeah, we ride on board with Mean Fern once again, as he's really gotten closer to Maverick over this lap. He has a real solid chance to make an overtake on the front straightaway here, as he's in great position to get a good exit and open that DRS with the slipstream as well. So here he goes. He gets later on the brakes than Maverick. Misses the apex a slight bit, but that outer line that he had allows him to cut down and get a slightly better exit than Maverick. So here he is, opening the DRS now. He's going to be able to get to the right of Maverick, who doesn't defend. And they're side by side now into the first corner, and that is a very textbook move, it appears, for Mean Fern, as he's able to clear the Renault before they even get to turn 2. So that was a very nice overtake by the Red Bull there. He's able to get around the Renault of Maverick.
Yeah, side-by-side move for 7th. Oh, I think BRL Maverick actually is going to try and challenge here. He's definitely looking a little bit racy, and he's got some ERS to burn, so I wouldn't be surprised if he tries to get the switchback on Mean Fern.
Yeah, I was going to say our phrase of the night might be that second DRS straight, because Maverick was immediately able to put pressure on once again into that next corner after that DRS straight. Because even though he was just passed, he was able to suck right back up to Mean Fern, so definitely more excitement from that straightaway. But anyways, as I mentioned, Ham Newton, last lap he was 1.2 seconds, and now he's only 0.2 seconds behind the Ferrari of Boss Cookie, so expect an overtake right down here in the front straightaway. Maybe even here on this straightaway,
100%.
very close to the Ferrari. Oh, is there contact?
Unbelievable!
There's contact as the front wing of Ham Newton is now damaged.
Wow,
that was some of the... Let's see if he pits. And here he comes into the pits. Here comes Ham Newton. This is a disaster for his race.
From my screen, that was probably the most avoidable contact I've seen in the series. He literally was just right behind him. There's space on the left and right, and he just went straight into the back of him. So I don't know really what he's thinking there. But maybe this will is definitely going to affect his strategy and affect the overall race here as he puts on the hards.
Yep, as the Haas boys put on the tires right there, it appears he's switching on the hards. Let's hope that there aren't any cross-threaded lug nuts on there, because Haas is known to do that a lot. But here he comes out of the pits. Looks like he's going to try and go to the end on these hards, but that was a miserable sequence of events for him. As you said, it appeared to be quite avoidable.
Yeah.
And now he's really compromised his race. See, I mean, he was going to one-stop to the hards anyway, but certainly later, as the soft compound runners are even still on the track right now. And
yeah, I think this is
with the first 4 drivers being on those softs, so maybe they aren't wearing as we expected them to be.
I think this is going to play into Chandler's hands, as now he's almost within within range of Boss Cookie within DRS, and he's also on the better long-lasting tires compared to him. So we're going to see how. Oh, huge off for Boss Cookie. Got really loose there. And we're going to see if Chandler can make this overtake down the back straight, or maybe even to this other DRS zone. But it looks like he's catching them very quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. I could see that. Unfortunately, the camera was panned in a way on my screen that we weren't able to see Boss Cookie's off, but he definitely did lose some time for that.
The yellow flag in sector 3. Ard is in the pits.
For Ard. Art is in the pits. Okay, yes, here, and also Boss Cookie's in the pits. So here he comes. So Chandler Sieta is now your leader at the moment. He's staying out for an additional lap on these softs. Let's see what tires they go on to. So Art is on the hard, and Boss Cookie is also on the hard. So it looks like they're going to try and go to the end here on that hardest compound tire. Let's see where ERS Ham Newton is in all of this. He's coming out of the final corner now. It'll be, even though he did break his wing, he had a few extra laps of fresh rubber compared to these leaders. So let's see where he is. Art is only coming out of turn number 3. And let's see in the background, there's ERS going through the first corner. So he's got a lot of ground to make up if he's even going to be able to try and challenge for the win. I think his chances of a win are over today, as Art has really set the pace early on. Chandler Sieta, as we said, is on an extra lap. Let's see where he ends up after this. Let's see if the overcut or undercut is going to be beneficial once he pits this time around. I would imagine he's going to pit this time around, so.
Yeah,
great excitement in the last couple minutes here in this race.
Yeah, really kind of unbelievable scenes here. But Boss Cookie obviously did not get a great pit there, as he's now 3 seconds behind the runner in 6th, which is Taylor Clan. So Art obviously got the advantage during that pit, and that's probably gonna give him just like the extra bit of buffer.
Yeah, I'm gonna mention real quick. There was a yellow flag in sector 1 a moment ago. It appears Alderfer has gone around again. I was able to catch the end of his incident as he spins again, and he's out of the race. He just completely lost the back end. Coming
I think it's a battle. I think Alderfer might get the biggest L of the race.
Yeah,
I think it's. Yeah, he might have to.
Yeah, it's a little early to make our call, but yeah, he may win that award. Yeah, that miserable night for him, as we've mentioned. But anyways, Switchback Racer is the leader at the moment on his medium compound tires. This is where ERS Ham Newton would have been if he didn't get that damage from the contact with Boss Cookie. But that has played out in the hands of Switchback Racer and Mean Fern, who are on that alternate strategy, starting on the harder medium compound. So, yes, as you said, Chandler's in the pits. Let's see where. Yep, he emerged behind Boss Cookie. So it appears that that overcut did not work. He's now 2nd and 0.2 of a second behind him. So he's going to have to try and reel in. He's got 1 lap fresher tires. It's really the one benefit he has from there. So maybe at the end of the session, this will really start to play into his favor, as they're both on the same compound, but just a 1 lap fresher, so we'll see how that works out for him.
Yeah, the top 3 drivers catching out their mediums are at to 10 laps here.
Yeah, Taylor Clan right there is just getting out of the way of these provisional leaders right here. He doesn't want to interfere. So just the courtesy of letting them go through. Probably used his head to realize it's better to, run his own race and keep his own pace rather than holding up or defending anyone who's faster than him, which would eventually lose him time. So, smart driving from him there. We'll see ERS Ham Newton's about to catch up to him as well. ERS actually isn't that much further behind Chandler and Boss Cookie as you'd probably expect. And Adam X picks up a 3-second time penalty. That may be the first we've seen tonight. Bahrain, not the easiest track really to, I wouldn't imagine the corner cut here on, because it's very tall curbs, but yeah, he's been able to pick up a 3-second time penalty now as Trace Me is leaving the pits, as you can see in his ghost car. He's just putting around, hoping that 4 people retire, and it'll get him a point there, but yeah, so looks like things are starting to take form now in this race, as Art is only 3 seconds behind Maverick, who is only 2.2 seconds behind Mean Fern, who's only 1.1 behind Switchback. So these guys up here on the mediums are provisionally going to lose a lot of time to Art, considering where he is compared to them right now. So it appears that Art is going to be able to walk away with this race, but you never know. Maybe the amount of time that these guys stay out on these mediums is going to help them in the end of the race, because they'll have those much fresher hards. So that'll be interesting to see happen in the end.
Yeah, well, obviously I think anything can happen. I think it's still too early to call this race victory, as you saw ERS getting that damage completely out of nowhere. So I think it's a little early to figure out who the winner is. I think we definitely know who got the biggest L.
Yes. Speaking of ERS Ham Newton, he was just let through by Taylor Clan, who is also on that medium to hard compound strategy that the front 3 are also running. So see where he folds out. Oh, as BRL Maverick is ahead of Mean Fern, because Mean Fern is in the pits. So there's the first of the medium compound runners to come to the pits, aside from Ham, who had the damage earlier. And Meanford has put on another set of mediums. That must be a glitch, because on the left side of the screen, we can see on the display that he has hards on.
Yeah, it does say
but the
hards.
physical tires on his car are yellow. So yeah, that might be a graphical error with the with the game right there. We apologize for that. There's a lot of errors going on tonight between connections and now tire color. But either way, yes, he is on the hards. He's one stopping from his mediums to hards, as are the front two at the moment. I'd expect to see Switchback and Maverick pit this time around. We'll see what they do as we see them now power down this straightaway. Yeah, much more calm race at the moment as the drivers are starting to pit. It's really spitting everyone out where they're going to be based off of their strategies. So, yeah, race is really starting to take its shape right here.
Yeah, we're not even halfway through though at this point. I think we've seen some pretty good action so far. Combine that with a little teaser before. Yeah, combine that with a little teaser before, and I think we've got a pretty eventful weekend here.
Yeah, we're just gonna say thank you to everyone who's sticking out later here tonight. It was expectedly we would only have a few laps remaining, maybe about 9 to 10 laps remaining after that first fault that we had with the first race, but we've been broadcasting now for 63 minutes and we still have 10 people holding on and sticking this thing out, so we appreciate that from the fans. But as we now see, those two front drivers did pit as I expected, so the front three now are Ard, Boss Cookie, and Chandler Sieta, as it was before they pitted. So things are really starting to re-emerge as the first stint all over again, as now Chandler is all over Boss Cookie with the DRS right there. Very close, but not able to make a move right there. Once again, very close, but not close enough to make that move. So he's going to try and stick it in and keep it close behind him through these fast corners. Actually, it appears he lost a bit of time there in the dirty air. And another thing important to mention is Ham Newton is catching these guys fast. So the more that they battle, the quicker Ham Newton is going to get up there, and we know how fast he is. So this is going to be interesting to keep your eye on.
That is exactly right. I think what would be beneficial for Chandler to do is stick with him through these corners and then get to the first and second DRS zones and try and make the move there, or else Ham Newton's really going to be able to really catch up to them, and he might be able to move them.
Yeah, if we ride on board Ham Newton here, it appears that he's actually closer now to Chandler. The Chandler is the Boss Cookie, so we might see a three-wide action here down the front straightaway if they're all close enough with the DRS open. A three-wide battle for that second spot. See, as DRS breaks hard, he gets much closer to Chandler Sieta right there. Now they're both about to open their DRS. So let's go third person here on Boss Cookie. See what happens down this front straightaway. Everyone folds down to the inside to get the slipstream for Boss Cookies. Now they are side by side. Chandler, who was not entirely side by side, but front wing to rear tire right there. But either way, yeah, not close enough to make a move into the first corner. But now he hit him. He might be close enough to make a move into this corner right here. But once again, not close enough. So it appears that Boss Cookie is able to get a good enough exit out of the corners to be able to defend that charge down the straightaway of the DRS that Chandler Sieta and Ham Newton both have. So good defensive driving at the moment by Boss Cookie, but let's see how long this can last. Yep, as these three are now moving down to the left-hander, let's see if anyone locks up. Nope, they all keep it clean. ERS does go a bit wide right there, but once again, Boss Cookie with phenomenal exit out of that corner, and no one's able to challenge him into this left-hander down here. And neither is Ham Newton able to make a challenge to Chandler since he went as wide as he did. So once again, just these three drivers about a half a second apart from each other at the moment, as it was last lap. Now see, BRL Skeppy just lost a position. Oh, he's in the pits again. So Skeppy is now just pitted for mediums. And yeah, not a good race for him, as he's just in no man's land at the moment. He may even just try to do the Gasly strategy and put on softs at the end of the race and go for fastest lap to make it worthwhile. So it's unfortunate for him. Trace Me once again, just a ghost car in the back for anyone confused as to why he's so far behind.
Oh, Chandler.
Oh, yeah, once again, back to the battle between Boss Cookie and Chandler. They are side by side this time, much more than they were a lap ago. The Racing Point is not... he's
Oh,
not
yeah,
able
he
to make
is.
the move around the outside, but he was able to hold it to the left through the left-hander of turn 2. Not able to get a good exit because of it. And Boss Cookie is able to hold that position once again down this straightaway. So, once again, good driving by Boss. Oh, as he loses the back end there. That was almost a disaster for him if he was able to spin. That would be very similar to Sebastian Vettel in real life right there. But, yeah, he lost the back end, was able to save it. But that has just allowed Chandler to close in even more, as well as Ham Newton. These three drivers are neck and neck. Well, not neck and neck, they're more like nose to tail going through this left-hander. Skeppy picks up a 3-second time penalty, but anyways, the DRS is open now for the two drivers behind Boss Cookie, but once again, just not close enough to make a move on it. So this is, yeah, great driving once again by Boss Cookie to be able to hold these positions off for the couple laps that he has. He's been under tremendous pressure. And he's got to be running out of he's got to be running out of battery charge at this point as well.
Yeah, these three drivers obviously doing hard so many favors at this point. The gap has now grown to 9 seconds. So,
yes, absolutely,
Boss
absolutely.
Cookie, this gets it, not a great exit though. But
yeah, not a great exit
right
that time. He's going against his trends the last couple laps. They are now almost making contact. Everyone training down the straightaway. Are we going to see 3 wide? We are. It is now 3 wide in the top first corner, but ERS backs out of it and wisely goes to the outside and lets the other drivers through. And that's going to get him a good exit. A Boss Cookie here who picks up a penalty for running wide, but he has the DRS open on that second straightaway, and he's able to get Chandler back. Here he goes around the outside of Chandler, and he's going to get the better exit, as they're now going to be side by side entering the second sector, but he backs out of it and lets Boss Cookie through. So this is great driving by these three drivers right here. This is a great battle for second place. They're all giving each other tons of respect at the moment, so this is great to watch.
Yeah, as you were saying, that BRL Maverick got a 3-second time penalty there, down in 7th, so that might affect his battle with Ferrari net. Even though
yes, absolutely. But anyways, here they are back onto another DRS straight. This is going to force everyone together again. Chandler making a look to the inside, now the outside. Ooh, there's contact!
Oh!
There's contact! And now DRS Ham Newton is to the inside of the Ferrari!
In the second!
What a sequence of events for ERS Ham Newton. He's able to go from 4th place to 2nd in the matter of 1 corner thanks to the contact between Chandler Sieta and Boss Cookie. And now we must wonder, is there front wing for the racing point?
Obviously, Chandler lost a couple positions there. That was definitely not in his favor, whether it was his fault or not. But he's still going to have the DRS, so he's going to try and hang on and maybe get some revenge on Ham Newton. Or vice versa here.
Yeah, the DRS is open, but no one's able to make a move as they were a lap ago. And I'd expect, as ERS Ham Newton actually goes a bit deep in the first corner. I'm expecting him to now to start driving away from these two fellas, even though he does have a few more a lap on his tires compared to them. He's proven to be very quick around this circuit, so I expect him to drive away. Boss Cookie and Chandler Sieta, this battle is not over. I mean, unless there is front wing damage for the racing point. He did get into the Ferrari rather hard there at the end of the DRS straightaway, so
sure did.
We'll see.
Yeah. No, just looking at the intervals here, it looks like Ard kind of backed off trying to save tires a little bit because the gap has gone from 9 seconds to 6, and they've just been making contact and battling the whole time. So definitely slow his pace down.
Yes, as you're talking about that, here they go in the same spot of the track. The Ferrari out of the racing point. Is there contact this time? No, there isn't, but Chandler is close once again. But yeah, as you mentioned, it's a 6.1 second gap now, as it was 7.1, I believe, a couple minutes ago. I would imagine that Art is just saving tires or either battery, because you'd expect when there's battling for the driver in the clean air and on his own to drive away. So that's definitely interesting and something to follow, but I'd expect that gap to start increasing once again. But yeah, actually Ard and ERS Ham Newton apparently pitted on the same lap. They both have 9 laps. Oh, never mind. It's actually 1 lap differences now. Ham Newton crosses the line. Yeah, Chandler not close enough to make a move this time, but yes. So ERS Ham Newton has 1 extra lap on his tires compared to ours. That isn't going to be in his favor. But yeah, it's at 6.3 seconds now, so I'd expect Ard to start driving away once again. He's basically got this race locked down, but yeah, the battle right now is just for the bottom foot of the podium between the Ferrari, the Boss Cookie, and the racing point of Chandler Sieta. That is tremendous racing between these two. It's actually Boss Cookie was just all 4 tires off the track. That may have been a warning right there for him, not ideal, as he already has a 3-second time penalty from earlier. But yeah, this is just great to watch. And Maverick is 1/10 off of Mean Fern, so like more of the midfield battles that we can see right here. It's not all up front at the moment. A very similar battle actually. These two drivers nose to tail through the middle sector. We'll keep an eye on them in a second. We're just going to check again real quick on Chandler Sieta. Not close enough to make a move in the left-hander right there after the DRS straight. But once again, these two drivers will not quit going at it.
I just have to I have to point out again. I think we forgot about that 3-second time penalty that Boss Cookie has.
Yes, I did mention that a second ago. Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
No,
yeah.
that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, that's gonna be it. Yeah, obviously it's gonna be like I imagine you were saying.
Absolutely. So this has got to be more annoying. This has got to be more annoying for Chandler because, like, even though he provisionally is in that position already ahead of Boss Cookie, but Boss Cookie being a physical barrier to him, and he could easily be moving up through the field because he has better pace, as you can obviously see at the moment. Yeah, once again, Boss Cookie going a little wide for the first corner, but it's able to get him a shot off the corner for a better exit. There's a yellow flag. Skeppy is out of the session. So something just happened in the middle sector to Skeppy. He's now out. Huh. That's a DNF for him. Once again, he finished 11th last weekend in Australia. Didn't score any points there, and he's not going to score any points here tonight.
Oh, he's backwards.
Not a good race whatsoever for him.
He's backwards. I think he might have spun. Oh, so interesting. So it might be a little battle for biggest L award now.
No, I think being on screen for the viewers and seeing the downfall is a little bit more of an L than actually crashing off screen. So I'd say that what's his name, the Elderford Jr. may still have that accolade at the moment. But
yeah.
But either way, Mean Fern and Maverick are very close together at the moment. Yeah, sorry, what were you saying?
Who do you think is gonna be driver of the day so far? Who has shown the best pace?
So far the most consistent driver in the field has been Ard. He's been able to just put his head down and drive away without any issues at the moment, and everyone else further down the field is kind of making issues and stuck in battles and not really going anywhere compared to where they qualified. So at the moment, I'd definitely say Art is not the leader of that at the moment. But as we say this, the battle between Boss Cookie and Chandler is heating up once again. So what is the camera doing right there? Is they're now side by side through the first corner. The Racing Point tries to get the exit around the first corner, gives him the inside for the left. Boss Cookie's able to chop him off right there with a tighter angle. As they go down the second DRS straightaway, he's able to hold on again. So this is Boss Cookie just a masterclass at the moment of defending. He's been able to hold off that Racing Point for like I'd say about 10 laps at this point. It's been quite a bit now, so this is great driving by the Ferrari.
Yeah, obviously keeping the broadcasting entertaining, and we love seeing that. All this battling is putting a big smile on my face, but you know, I think obviously you can see Eris and got a little gap to them. But I think Chandler can definitely stay within DRS of Boss Cookie and probably challenge for third here.
Yeah, Boss Cookie took a really shallow entry into the double left-hander right there. He was almost in the middle of the track. Didn't give him the best exit, and that's allowed Chandler to gain a lot of time, especially after he was able to pick up DRS and slipstream as well. So I expect another move right here, but this has got to be so frustrating for Chandler Sieta. He's been so close so many times to overtaking the Ferrari Boss Cookie, but just hasn't been able to. He's going to get another fair share right here in the final corner as Art's at the fast lap of the race right there in the Red Bull. After several laps on those tires, I might add, so that's another example of great driving by him. But anyways, back to the battle between Chandler Sieta and Boss Cookie. We now ride on board with the Racing Point. Right in the slipstream, he sweeps out to the left side by side for the third place into the first corner. And he's not able to make the overtake once again. Very close, but not close enough. Once again, he gets that second dose of DRS right here down the second DRS straight. This is our other phrase of the night, not close enough. This just hasn't been enough for Chandler to get that overtake done and move up. So this is very unfortunate for him. Back to the battle between Maverick and Mean Fern. It appears that Mean Fern has been able to stretch a few more tenths on him over the last couple laps, as it was only a 2/10 gap a few minutes ago. So Good driving by him to be able to get away. But as I now noticed, switchback racers directly ahead of them. So even though our three-way battle for second is over, it looks like we might have a three-way battle for fifth here in a minute.
Ooh, Mean Fern goes a little wide.
And Boss Cookie, yeah, they're getting close once again.
Ooh,
to
Maverick.
This front straightaway.
What with Maverick? Around Mean Fern.
Oh yeah, Maverick was able to make the move right there. So even though Mean Fern had a solid gap right there, as we just saw a minute ago, he's been passed by Maverick. As we now switch back to the battle for third place. This is about as close as I've seen them over the last couple laps. Chandler Sieta, we now ride on board as he turns on that DRS. Boss Cookie, as you can tell, is running a very low downforce setup. He's not much slower in a straight line, the Chandler Sieta. So that's really what's also been his defense mechanism. He has gotten a good exit out of these corners, but he has a tremendous amount of front of the straightaway speed right there. Let's see if he can do the same right here as he goes all the way to the right side of the track, protecting that inside, not letting Sieta get there. Let's see if Sieta can do a switchback right here as we ride on board. He goes for the switchback on the Ferrari as they now go side by side to the high-speed corners, and there's almost contact. That was very close right there between the Red Bull and the Racing Point, but they were able to get through there cleanly. So once again, great driving by these two, but better driving by Boss Cookie to be able to hold his position.
Yeah, obviously I think just great defending, and we've seen multiple times where Boss Cookie even gives Chandler a little bit more room than I think I was expecting or he was expecting. But here we go around the outside.
Yeah, once again to the outside. They're side by side on the left-hander. Oh, and he's still side by side at the exit of the left-hander. He might be able to hold it tight, but no, he isn't. That outside position, the extra distance he had to travel, just allowed that Ferrari to get cleared again. This is not over, folks, as they're about to approach the front straightaway once again. This is just endless action between these two. As he might even make a move down here in the penultimate straightaway.
He lifted off there. Definitely.
Yeah, he did, because he's just waiting for that DRS. He goes wide right there, though, as Boss Cookie's able to get a much better exit.
Yeah.
Now he's leaving once again back to the inside to protect that slipstream and break it so that Chandler isn't able to gain time. He is in that slipstream now, but once again, he just isn't close enough. He does not have the straight line speed to be able to get around that Ferrari. So here they are again, coming out of turn number 2. Chandler did not get a great run through there. Boss Cookie is able to extend the advantage, but once he opens the DRS, Chandler's able to get closer again. Can he go for another switchback right here? He goes for the switchback, but he's just not in position to get side by side with Boss Cookie. So, man, what a battle between these two drivers. This is just endless right here. Oh, almost contact again. Very close in that right-hander. Oh, EGC Sparky's now left the sessions. This is just not a good day for the Williams. Alderfer's out of the race, and if Sparky is disconnected from the session, it's going to allow LeDukes to be able to ghost through him right there. That was some wheel spin
from Chandler on the exit there.
Yeah, absolutely. As we get back to this battle, like trying to give everyone their fair share of screen time here tonight, but these two drivers are just stealing all of it right now. Just another thing to mention is that Art has added another 3 seconds to his gap on ERS Ham Newton, so Ham is not going to be able to challenge for the win here today, but he's going to be able to secure a second place finish and get some solid points. Once again, Boss Cookie does have that 3-second time penalty, so technically he is not on the podium at the moment. He needs to drive away from Chandler, but that's the last thing that we expect to happen. But these two drivers are just way too close at the moment, and his defending is very good. As we see again right there, he holds. That was actually a very nice move right there by Boss Cookie, a little subtle thing. He was able to hold it to the left side of the track a little bit further down the corner. A little bit further down the straightaway before the corner, holding Chandler out to dry on the left side, leaving him to turn in much later than Boss Cookie. So that was a little technique he used right there, as these two drivers are close again, going through these right and left-hand corners, as Maverick picks up a 3-second time penalty.
Yeah, as you were saying earlier with Boss Cookie, I think that low downforce setup is definitely helping him on the straights, and that's giving him the edge he needs to stay ahead of Chandler, but also just amazing defending from him. And Chandler just keeps on trying, keeps getting denied, but I think he's just trying to stick behind Boss Cookie, and time is moved perfectly.
Absolutely, as you can see that. Just noticed actually, there's the word bombardier on the side of the racing point. Let's hope it doesn't come to him bombarding the Ferrari out of the way, as we saw he did at the end of the straightaway earlier in the race. There's already contact between these drivers. We do not want to see that again, because that may, result in some vengeance in a later race. But yeah, here we go once again. This is just. Once again, earlier I mentioned a broken record player. This is a broken record player right here. These guys are constantly battling every lap. It's almost the same, but this time they are finally side by side. And it appears that the racing point has a position, but Boss Cookie's going for a dive. There isn't contact, but they were very close. But once again, this second DRS straight is going to give Boss Cookie the DRS. So let's see if he's able to fight back right here. We ride on board. And no, he just is not able to get there. So it looks like Chandler Sieta has finally made the move and has finally promoted himself to the bottom step of the podium. Yes, looks like that battle is finally rested now. Let's see. I doubt Boss Cookie's going to be able to hold it with him, because he's been burning a lot of battery as well as a lot of tire to hold the racing point Chandler Sieta behind, and now he has lost that position. So we expect this race point to drive away once again, even though those tires are yellow. Don't worry everyone, those are the hards, so he is one stopping. He is not pitting again. So this is essentially the third place lockdown for Chandler Sieta if he's able to break that second barrier for the DRS. So as we look down the field now, it appears that the battle for fifth is now starting to shake up. As I mentioned earlier, the switchback racer is that fifth place driver, and he just does not appear to have the pace of the two drivers behind of Maverick and Mean Fern. So this is very similar battle we might see right here as to what we saw between Ham Newton Chandler and Boss Cookie earlier in the race.
Yeah, Ard has now extended the gap to almost 11 seconds. So it's what you said is exactly what happened, where he was kind of taking a second to, charge up the battery, get the tires nice and cooled, and then he was just trying to set consistent fast laps.
Yeah, well, hold on. As you're mentioning this, BRL Maverick is now making the move to the inside of Switchback Racer. They were side by side on the front straightaway, and Switchback was actually able to pull a mini Switchback right there, and another one right there through the second corner. Another one, and here he comes down the second DRS straightaway. He might be able to reclaim this position, as he's going to have the better exit here on the outside. But no, Maverick goes in deeper and pushes him a little bit wide. Yes, there was a tiny bit of contact right there, but not too much harm done, as Maverick has now been able to pass Switchback Racer and has a chance to now maybe move ahead and try and break the slipstream and the DRS zone barrier right there between him and the cars behind. But it's not going to be easy. Switchback is on fresher tires, it appears. Actually, no, they're on the same lap tires, but he is just directly behind him still, and will have DRS right now. So we might see Switchback get that position back right here. The DRS is open. He's in the slipstream. Is he going to take a look? No, he isn't. He's going to tuck in and stay right behind that Renault, try to stick with him to try and pass it back on the front straightaway. What a battle we have here.
As you're talking about the battle, Switchback Racer definitely looks like he's burning the tires a little bit more than Maverick. Maverick just looks a little bit more composed to me. Just the way he shifts up just a little bit earlier. So we'll see how that affects Switchback Racer later in this
yeah, absolutely.
We only have about one lap left.
Yeah, I was going to say, absolutely. I've noticed him lock up a tiny bit here as well the last few laps. Because, does have that DRS. Is he going to be able to make a move? He goes to the right, then he goes to the left, but no, he's not going to be able to. Oh, as he locks up again, he's not going to be able to get around Maverick. He has another dose of the DRS right here. Let's see if that gets him closer. Well, let's see if it's close enough. DRS open. He's very close to the Renault. Here he goes, and no, he's not going to make a move. He's just going to tuck in once again. So we might see him actually just trying to save his battery in the slipstream right here to save up and harvest to be able to deploy some to make an overtake. But yeah, as you mentioned, I do believe he has burned his tires off a bit harder than the other drivers, because Mean Fern, who has an extra lap on that rubber, is closer to Switchback, but Switchback is to the Maverick. So yeah, we'll see if Mean Fern's able to get around the Mercedes there as well, as Maverick was able to a couple laps ago now. But we're almost at the end of this race. I just realized there's only 2 laps to go, and once Ard hits the line next time around, it's going to be 1 lap to go. So this is going by really quickly because of all the action we've had.
Yeah, I think this might be the first time where the pole sitter and the race winner is going to have the least amount of airtime on this entire stream. He's just kind of led the race from start to finish.
Absolutely. I mean, there was Deer Hunter in the Circuit of the Americas race last year, but the first stint he was pretty contested with for the lead, but he was eventually able to pull out the win in a rather dominant fashion. So we haven't seen much of the same since. But Ard has been able to command this race as he now is on the last lap.
Yeah, Chandler is pretty
Oh my gosh, you are right. Okay, so Ham Newton.
So within DRS,
it's just going completely under our radar. He's been able to catch way up to Ham Newton. It looks like we might have a last lap.
Because we're looking at that battle between Maverick and Switchback Racing.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that in a moment. But right now, it's a bit more important up here on the podium. What a race we have! It just never seems to end, even when it's about to be over. So yeah, here he goes. Chandler opens the DRS, but it appears he's not going to be close enough to make a move here on Ham Newton. He moves to the left side of the track to try and tell Ham Newton, I'm here. And yeah, he's just making a bit of a nose right there to the left side. But LeDukes picks up a 3-second time penalty on the last lap. That's not ideal for him, but it doesn't really matter, even though Adam Max is 33 seconds
Here comes
back.
Ard across the line to win the race.
Yeah, well there he is. Ard wins the race in rather dominant fashion right there. A tremendous drive by him. But anyway, back to the battle for second. It appears that they're side by side right there. Chandler goes to the left side. He's on the outside of the track. He's going to tuck it in the slipstream right here, get a tiny bit of DRS. Side by side across the line, and Ham is going to take second place. What a battle for the second place there. Oh man, Boss Cookie Cross is in fourth. And further down the grid, it looks like BRL Marvick is going to rather easily claim fifth place, even though Switchback is there in his mirrors. Mean Fern was never able to get close enough to take that position. Taylor Clan, a very respectable race by him earlier. We mentioned him letting the provisional leaders through. He was able to get his head down and proceed with his race. He's going to get a solid haul of points in 8th place here. Ferrari not the best day for him. Not the best day for Ferrari Nut. He's one that is known to contend for the podium and maybe even a win every now and then. So 9th place isn't expected for him. There might have been contact. Oh, but actually, you know what I've noticed? He put on soft compound tires and just set the fastest lap of the race on the last lap. So he's able to pick up an additional point there. So 2 points rather than 1, even though he finished 9th place. Yeah, that was the Gasly strategy at its finest right there. Now, when the music plays, and that signifies the end of this race. So it's officially over here in Bahrain, round 2 of the Breakout Racing League's Season 3 race. That was a rather good race, and yeah, I mean, if you would agree, I would definitely give our driver of the day. He was able to just take
100%.
the pole and drive away with it.
100%, yeah.
Yeah, so the award that before we get you know, in a little bit of trouble with Alderfer Jr. after the race, the award that was dubbed by Mr. Dylan here, who created the biggest L award, we saw on screen, and we were in fact riding on board EGC Alderfer Jr. going through the fast left-hander in the second sector, just completely lost the back end and slammed the wall, losing his tire and ending his race. So yeah, bad day for him, bad day for Williams altogether. They didn't score any points after winning last time. So they're surely not going to be the leaders of the Constructors' points after the session. But once again, congratulations to Ard on a fantastic drive. Ham Newton on a pretty good recovery drive after breaking his wing in the first stint behind the Ferrari of Boss Cookie. Yeah, not many penalties as you can see right there. There's a few further down, but most drivers kept it clean and were able to have a solid, clean performance here tonight, even though there was a lot of action and contact. So that was a great race.
Yeah, it was a really great race. I would say a lot of good, clean battling.
Yeah, so in a second here, we're going to try and get our winner Ard into the party here for an interview. There's not much he's not going to be talking about much, honestly, after that race, but still, it's just going to be interesting to hear what he says after that performance. So let's send him the invite right now, and let's hope that he joins. It's been 90 minutes, so for you 9 that are still in the session at the moment, we appreciate for sticking it out this long. But anyways, Ard is in the party now. Make sure you got that box checked for the party audio to be included in the stream.
Yep, sure thing.
All right, you got it. So, well, there you have it, everybody. This is Ard, your winner tonight at Bahrain. That was Probably the most commanding victory I've seen in this league in a long time. You were able to take the pole position, just get a great start, drive away, and control it from there. Was there any concern whatsoever, or was that just smooth sailing from the start?
It was pretty smooth sailing. I mean, considering the fact we restarted the race and it gave us fresh tires, kind of
Yeah,
solidified the one stop as being like the only thing that really made sense, and it was pretty easy to do since we didn't have that quality tire wear. Also, I think something happened between Boss Cookie and Ham, so that kind of made it to where I could
yes,
just
yes.
cruise it home.
Yeah,
Problems
it was
really.
a little bit behind you. Yes, it was
Yeah,
Boss
yeah. I
Cookie. You'll
think
see, it was
Ham,
kind of a
honestly,
clumsy. It was a
if
clumsy
Ham
incident
didn't get his
almost. Boss
wing
Cookie
broken
was
off,
ahead of
Ham
ERS
probably
Ham
would have
Newton, and
been
he kind
right
of just
on
went
me.
into him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Ham probably would have been right on me at the end of the race, so kind of unfortunate for him, but at least he still finished second.
Yeah, well, I mean, other than that, let's just look real quick at your finish last week. I've got the points right here. So last weekend you had a finish of fourth place.
It was
So it
fourth,
appears
yeah.
that this is going to promote you to the lead in the points since Alderfer had a miserable night. RBR wrecked out on the first lap, and you won the race. So that'll promote you to the points lead. So how do you feel about that?
Well, that's really good. I mean, I know China's another good track for Ham, good track for me as well, so that'll be another good battle with Ham, hopefully, if nothing happens to either one of us.
So just one question I have. So the soft tires, we were thinking that they were going to burn off rather quickly, and it did appear that Ham was able to make some moves on the guys on the softs only a few laps into the race tonight before getting the front wing damage. Did those softs really wear off, and you were just saving them up for that one stop, or was it rather easy?
It was pretty easy keeping them under control. I mean, like I said, we didn't have that quality tire wear, so I
Yeah,
believe it's
absolutely.
actually glitched right now. I think they plan on fixing that with the next update. Like, I think you get more wear than intended, so
Yeah, I
the
believe
fact that
so as
it's
well.
yeah, so the fact that I got to start on a fresh set of softs just solidified that one stop onto the hards because Chandler had actually been practicing with him all day and he was doing the same thing but pitting like 2 laps before I actually did in the race. So it just made that one stop pretty.
I guess. Okay, all right. So I guess that's the end of it then, everybody. That was the Bahrain Grand Prix. I'm Danny Stevens alongside Dylan Beckwith, and that's going to be it. Good night.